How's that homeless bullshit working out for you? Yeah, living in the truck, that's fucking great, isn't it? When was the last time you had your dick sucked? When was the last time you washed your balls so you could get your dick sucked? There's just so much that's bad about living in a truck. Why the fuck are you living in a truck, you fucking dumbass? What the fuck's wrong with you? Go get a house. You know, I spent, the last couple minimalist videos jerking you off about the good points of being out here. And I figured I wanted to lay it all out there because there were some people that kind of envied what I'm doing that just can't for one reason or another. But it's not all fucking rainbows and unicorns and pots of gold shooting out of your asshole out here. It's not an easy lifestyle. And it's not for everyone. So I'm not trying to convert people. Some people get a little, standoffish. They think I'm browbeating them for living life a normal way or taking part in the normal American dream and all of that. And I'm really not. I just want everyone to kind of know what they're doing. I want people to make informed choices in their life. Because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation in the fucking world. I feel like we're not getting the correct choices. We're kind of being manipulated by, all kinds of different fucking motherfuckers for mainly financial reasons. I mean, we're being manipulated by the media. We're being manipulated by advertisers. We're being manipulated by corporations, by government, by everyone wants us to do shit. And some of us don't want to do shit. I'm tired of doing shit. I want to do what the fuck I want to do. And that's what I'm trying to do when I'm doing that. I'm trying to free myself from these fucking slavery shackles that I've been in most of my life. All because I've been chasing the big fucking thing that everyone told me I had to fucking have to be happy. And I've been chasing happiness for an awful long fucking time. And that fucking happiness motherfucker's been an elusive bitch. And I'm tired of chasing. And I want to create my own happiness. And I want to take complete fucking control of my life. And, not be forced into any decisions. I want to make decisions based on what I want. Not what I have to do to pay this debtor or to fucking make this prick boss happy or make this person fucking happy or that person happy. I want to make myself happy because I've been unhappy for a while. Every time I find what I think is happiness, I get kicked in the balls. I get punched in the nuts over and over again until I just want to just fucking punch some nuts back for a change. And one of the reasons I'm choosing to live in my truck now and to pursue that, is the freedom. I want to be in charge of my life again. And I'm not there yet, but I am on the way. I know I'm on the way, and I'll get there. I have no doubt in my mind, if I continue on my present course, I will achieve the freedom that I seek and be able to live the life I want to live. You can't just fucking start living that way and expect it all to be roses. There are things you have to do. But that's what my minimalism and, living a vehicle and nomadic lifestyle videos are going to kind of take you on that journey with me. Just like my intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet weight loss videos, that's been a long journey to where I learned a lot and I shared. Every time I learned something, I shared it with others, and they took all of the bullshit and crap that I had to go through to figure out how to lose weight, keep it off, and they applied it to their own lives, and they helped themselves. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I know somewhere out there there's other motherfuckers like me who are doing the same bullshit that I am and getting kicked in the nuts the same amount of times I am. And we want to be the ones doing the kicking. We're tired of getting kicked in the nuts, and it's time to kick some nuts. All right? So, but I don't want to give you like some fucking flowery view of life out here, because this is a seductive, financially speaking, choice for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are working shit minimum wage jobs. They can't afford to live on their own because they're working shit minimum wage jobs. So they'll think that we're rich out here and that everything's fucking great, and it's, you know, whoa, this is awesome. I can't wait. You know, I hope I'm going to get my CDL and get out there. And there's fine print. There's a price that's paid out here. And yes, it's good money, but you are giving up quite a bit of comfort for that money. And it is the price you are paying. It is a sacrifice. So I wanted to go through the cons of living out here, how I deal with each con, and why these aren't deal breakers, and why I continue to, you know, stay the course when it comes. Because I could bail at any time. I could go find a place and get an apartment and start doing the same bullshit that everyone else is doing. And I'm going to go in, you know, this is going to be a long video because I got a lot to talk about. So buckle up, watch it in chunks, do whatever. I don't know. There'll be commercials in the middle of it, you know, to pay the bills, you know. But in any case, the first con of living in your truck, if you're looking to get into trucking or to live in a vehicle in general, you're going to deal with the elements a lot more than you do in a house. Yeah, you got to heat your house. Yeah, you got to cool your house. That is way easier. You just pay your fucking bill when it comes in the box. And, you know, every once in a while your fucking shit breaks and you call the repairman, they come and fix your shit. Or if you live in an apartment or pay rent, then you wait for your landlord, who sometimes drags their ass for fucking months to fix something. But, you know, you still, eventually it gets fixed and everybody's happy and it doesn't break very often. Since I've been, you know, I've done this before in my current situation. Last week we had fucking like 7 days of rain. I thought it was fucking some biblical shit going on. I mean, the fucking rain didn't stop. It was getting cold. I even saw a few snowflakes during it. You know, it sucked. You know, and to make matters worse, my pickup truck, the muffler fell out. It's fucking rusting out. And, you know, and I don't want to put a lot of money into it because I'm saving up for a van. So I'm trying to drive this motherfucker to death. So I hung the goddamn muffler with some zip ties. And, you know, it's just hanging there. That fucking thing's going to probably end up in the scrapyard. But anyways, it was pouring rain. I go out. I have a fucking photo shoot that I got to be at. It's pouring rain and my muffler's laying on the ground. So I had to fucking lay in the fucking puddles in the rain and fasten my muffler to the chassis. And, you know, of course, it's probably not the safest vehicle at this point. You know, I wouldn't want to sit in it while it was idling for a long period of time because I'm liable to be killed by the invisible gas that, you know. But, you know, I roll down the windows, you know, a little bit and make sure the air is circulating and all of that while I'm driving. And I don't try and stay too long in it right now until I can get rid of it and get the van that I want to get. But anyways, since it was cold and rainy, I'm lucky enough to have shore power. Not everyone who does this has that, but I had shore power with the truck. You know, the company provides it so that we aren't assholes and idle our trucks all the time. So I utilized the hell out of it. I had a heater running, so I kept it fairly warm, but it was damp and kind of, you know, the windows would fog up a little here and there. And, you know, I brought clothes that were wet in here and had them hanging up to dry, and it fogged up the windows because it made it humid in here. So I did have to run the truck for a little bit to get the humidity out. But my point is when you live in a fucking vehicle, you're more exposed to the elements. Like right now, it's a nice fucking happy day outside. It's like 50 degrees. It's actually kind of cold out, but it's a little sweaty hot in here, even though I'm not running the truck. You know, I could open the windows, but then I couldn't make the fucking video, so I'm sweating it out for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. Maybe hit like and subscribe. But you know, I'm sitting here right now, I'm a little uncomfortably warm. That's the thing. You're not going to be as comfortable. You're not going to maintain your comfort as easily living in a vehicle as you would in a house or an apartment. But hey, look how much you're paying for all of that. So my way of dealing with that is I do the best I can. If it gets too bad, I go somewhere that is more climate controlled, like the mall. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2 over the weekend by myself. Yeah, I know, but that's part of the reason why I didn't make too many videos. I was a little depressed last week. You know, I'm still not over the whole sugar walls thing, but I'll get there. I think I've coming out of it a little bit, the depression part, but we'll talk about that some other time. It's not really what this fucking video is about. But my point is you get the fuck out of the vehicle when the going gets tough and go somewhere that is, you know, climate control. Obviously can't do that while you're sleeping, but that's why they made, you know, warm blankets, fucking comfy, you know, they got 20 degrees, they got 0 degree sleeping bags. So if worse came to worse, you're not going to freeze to death. Problem comes when it gets too warm and keeping things cool. That's the deal. But up here in New York and in Canada, when I'm staying in Canada, not really a problem. And if I'm working a lot, it's also because the more you run, the more you can idle. So if I really need to cool things, I can run the truck, run the AC, you know, and do all of that thing. There's fans, you can open up the windows. But if you can park in the shade, that'll help. Another thing you can do if you're in the truck, this is a pro tip, when you stop after driving, open your hood so that all the heat vents out of the hood, because that's why it's warm in here right now, is the fucking heat's caught under the vehicle and it rises up into your area. So yeah, you're not going to be as comfortable. That's the first con. The next con, you ain't got a fucking kitchen, all right? You can get a little propane one burner stove, but let's face it, you're not going to cook a goddamn gourmet fucking Chef Ramsay fucking meal in a goddamn truck, okay? It's not going to happen. You just got to deal with the fact that you can't cook as efficiently, if at all. You could put a microwave in the motherfucker, but you're only going to use that on shore power or if you are running the truck with a badass inverter. And even then, you're stressing your alternator quite a bit. I would avoid doing that as well. Could always get an APU or a generator. I'm in a company vehicle, so if I wanted to do it, I'd have to buy a pretty hefty-ass generator, which is a lot of weight, by the way. And of course the gas and the maintenance of the generator, and of course where the fuck you're gonna put it is the other issue. If I really wanted to have a microwave in here, I would have to buy a generator. But there's a way around all of this. Most truck stops, a lot of grocery stores actually do too. Convenience stores have them. They all got microwaves, so you can microwave shit, but of course we know it's mostly processed foods that you use the fucking microwave for. So you're not eating as healthy, which leads me into the other con of this lifestyle. First of all, you're going to have lower quality food to choose from. The way I get around that is I try to park near supermarkets or Walmarts whenever possible, so I can go into the grocery section and pick out healthier choices. But you can't cook the healthier choices, so you're limited to shit you can eat right out of the refrigerator or right out of, you know, the produce section. It is possible to eat healthy in those situations. You go in, you get a salad, you get a decent selection of lunch meat. You know, the lunch meat's fairly processed, not the best meat in the world, but it gives you your protein and your fat. Especially if you get stuff like roast beef and stuff like that, but I'm kind of leaning on the keto things. But, you know, that's more for, I'm going to do a whole video on how to eat out here, and remain keto and continue your weight loss journey if that's your case. Or for, you know, you truck drivers out there, or people living out on the road or traveling a lot, I'm going to have a foodless video it's probably going to be my next fasting video to do. So, anyways, getting back on point. The food's shit. And if you want to eat healthy, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But the good news is, if you know how to intermittent fast and you're fat adapted, you don't get hungry as often and you can not eat for long periods of time until you get to a place that has good food. If you one of them motherfuckers that's carved up, has to eat all the time, you're hungry all the time, you're gonna eat shitty food and you're gonna hurt your health more out here. And that's why you see, you don't have to look around. The majority of people who are living on the road, over the road, long haul truckers have serious health problems. They're seriously overweight, obese, morbidly obese. Some of them can't even fucking breathe. And they all got like some kind of medication they're taking to manage their symptoms, blood pressure problems, you know. And it's because they are out here and they don't know any better about their diet and they fucking eat out here, and all they are surrounded by is processed foods, convenience stores, truck stops, full of sugary, full of shit. And they down it and they're drinking energy drinks that are loaded with fructose. Don't even get me started. Needless to say, the food choices when you live on the road as a trucker are shit. They suck. It's a pain in the ass eating out here. And I'm pulling it off, but I can tell you it's a fucking work. It's work to do that. So that's the other con. And the way I get around it, like I said, I either don't eat. I try and bring some healthy choices out here that don't require cooking. You know, some nuts, some pepperoni, stuff like that. But pepperoni, you generally are supposed to refrigerate it after you open it. You know, I do the best I can, and I stop and I get, you know, meats, cheeses, salads, that kind of stuff. So you really got it. It's like you're fucking in a survival show and you have to fucking find food in this hostile fucking environment. And that's pretty much what it's like eating out here, because you're just, it's a pain in the balls that you don't have a kitchen out here. So if you're a cook and you like to cook, then this is not the lifestyle for you, unless you're going to stop in hotels with kitchens and use their fucking shit that they probably used Windex to wash the shit with, and you're just eating that right out of the fucking chemicals and shit. It sucks. Another con to this lifestyle. Hold on. This coffee. Another con to this lifestyle is everything requires setup to do. You're gonna climb in the bunk and play with your fucking laptop. Guess what? You gotta get the inverter started, you gotta hook everything up, you gotta fucking transform shit around, move shit out of the way. In my case, I keep my monitor on my bed, I have to set that up. And, you know, once it's all set up, I'm in fucking la-la land. It's fucking comfortable and happy, but it's not like when you go into your house and you go into your living room and you kick your feet up on your couch and you grab your remote and click and you're in la la land. You have to prepare, you know, and there's not a lot of room to do things. Things that you take for granted living in a house or an apartment become a little less comfortable, a little, you know, require a little more effort to do. You know, even using the bathroom. And, you know, yeah, you can do the pee bottle thing. But sometimes you run out of pee bottles and you just have to fucking get out of the truck and either water your tires or go and use the fucking bathroom wherever you're parked. And when it's cold and rainy and nasty out and you get up and us older fucks, we got to get up sometimes in the middle of the night. I just wake up really early in the morning to pee, and then I go back to bed like 3 or 4 in the morning usually. And, you know, I know it's the sign of a bad prostate or something, but who knows, you know. Anyways, enough talking about piss and shit. Another con of this lifestyle is it's fucking lonely out here. It is. You know, I spent the better part of the last couple years and a bunch of years before that in relationships. And it, first of all, you're going to highly limit your opportunities for relationships in this particular situation. You would have to find someone that is open-minded, likes to travel, does not need the big house and all of that shit, and, you know, will travel with you, will come into this little box with you, and you really got to like each other for that. All right, I've done it a few times, and if you ever want to test how good your relationship is with someone, bring them into this box with you. And if you make it through that, golden. You know, if you can get through that without fighting, then you're meant to be. Apparently, I haven't found one of them yet. Came close a few times, but, you know, there's usually a lot of people just don't like living like this. That's why there's a shortage of drivers. A lot of people don't like this lifestyle, and I understand that completely. And that is one of the problems, is you are alone out here. That's why you see the truckers that walk around the truck stops all day and they'll just start talking to you like you're their best fucking friend. And I'm not like that. I don't generally want to talk to anybody when I'm in the truck stop, or, you know, I'm not approaching people looking for companionship. I have friends. I separate my socialness from this environment quite a bit, and I have some really good friends, and they've helped me through this time, and I'm very thankful for that. And you should maintain friendships and relationships outside the box, and go out of your fucking truck. Don't sit in your vehicle all the time, and socialize and hang out with people and do things with friends and go to events and go to parties and get out there and have a social life. It is too easy to go OTR or stay out on the road, or if you're living in your vehicle, just be out by yourself all the time. You know, and yes, there's a lot to be said in that you're not allowing people in your life that can hurt you, but you're also not allowing people in your life that can help you and that care about you and want to help you get through bad times. Thankfully, I have a lot of really good friendships, and I can't, even express what I would be like. I don't even know that I would have been able to continue this channel in my current situation if not for the good friends that have been there for me through this and have really reached out to make sure that I'm okay. And that means a lot to me. And don't ever give that up for this lifestyle, which could happen. It's really easy to get lost out here and be by yourself completely. And, there's days where you can be out here and not talk to a single living human being. Not even the customers. They don't want to deal with you. They want you to fucking sign and get the fuck out of there. Nobody really wants to talk to you out here unless you're proactive and you start the conversations. I have a few customers that I bullshit with out here now, but that's just because that's kind of how I am. But for the most part, today I talked to the customer a little bit, had my little bit of, bullshitting and interacting, and I won't talk to anyone else, in person the rest of the night. There's you guys I interact with on YouTube. I got my friends that I interact with on Facebook, but it's not the same as hanging out with a friend and spending time and, face to face. The interactivity, there's something to be said for real interaction versus virtual. And don't give up all of the real interaction for the virtual bullshit. So it becomes more difficult to do that the longer you're out here. And it's real easy. You can go out and stay out. They love it when you do it. If you're a trucker, they're happy. Oh, you want to go to fucking California from New York? There we go. You're on your way. See ya. See you in a 3 weeks. Yeah. That's how it rolls out here. They love it when you don't want to go home. And it's kind of important to have a home base that you go to regularly to have connections and interactions. I know that kind of flies in the face of the whole nomadic thing, but Even the nomadic community is a community. They meet up and have friendships and relationships, though I think a lot of theirs is virtually based. So that's why I kind of am still centered in New York, is I have a lot of good friends and I have some family here. Otherwise, I'd be out all over 48 states again. So don't give up your connections. But keep in mind that this lifestyle is not easy if you're looking for relationships, friendships, and, of course, romantic relationships. It's not easy. Ask any trucker, they'll tell you. They'll tell you all the fucking stories. I've heard them all. I had divorced, bitch cheated on me while I was on the road, blah, blah, blah. The lot lizards are knocking on my door, man. I mean, you hear it all. You hear all this shit out here. And, there's a lot of broken hearts out here on the road. And, which is sad because we're required out here for the American way of life. Your shelves would be empty if it wasn't for assholes like me out here. So next time you're bitching at that truck that's slow in front of you, you might want to consider that all that shit that you got in your fucking house, they brought it to you, motherfucker. You think that was made down the street? No, that shit was made in China and then fucking shipped over and then trucked to all the Walmarts that you go and shop at. So, yeah, I'm a little passionate about that. All right, well, whatever. They're going to replace us eventually anyway. Another con to this lifestyle is when your goddamn vehicle you're living in breaks. It's going to happen. Plan for it. Save money for the rainy day. It's going to fucking happen. Your vehicle that you are staying in will break down and have to go into a shop at some point, in which case you can't live in the motherfucker. So you should have some money put aside for either hotels, or you should have a buddy's couch you can stay on, or in my case, I'm trying to get a vehicle that's set up that if I'm not living in here, I can live in the vehicle. That will allow me to leave trucking for periods of time, take long vacations, and then come back, save money, and so on and so forth, and kind of jump in and out of the industry and not have to work my entire fucking life. That's my goal anyway. But be that as it may, even if you're living in a vehicle and you're not in trucking, the motherfucker's gonna break. You better have a plan for when that happens. Alright? It's gonna happen. Mark it on your fucking calendar. So have some money set aside for when it does. Because you gotta be able to pay for the repairs, and you gotta pay for a place to sleep. And if you don't plan for that, then you're going to be out on the fucking street with a fucking cardboard sign going, please help. And you don't want to have to do that. Another problem, especially depending upon the vehicle of choice, I'm planning on getting a stealth van, which can park pretty much anywhere. But in the case of trucking, we can't park just anywhere we want. I wish we could. There was so much shit that I could have done over my fucking career. If I could just park wherever the fuck I wanted, I could have seen so much more of the country. I could have done touristy shit. A lot of people think we get to travel out here and see everything. First of all, we don't get time to see everything. Second of all, we can't park near anything. If you want to go do touristy shit in a trucking industry, you got to go to a truck stop, park, find a cab company, pay $30 to $40 to go to wherever the fuck you want to go, and then pay another $30 to $40 to come back to the truck. And, plus, if you want to jump around to multiple places, then you got to pay for that, and otherwise you got to try and learn busing systems, which is a pain in the ass because every city's bus system is fucking different. And it's just a pain in the balls. If you're gonna dwell in a vehicle, you want to dwell in something small enough that you can park anywhere. Almost anywhere. There's still a whole lot of people that don't like that you're living in a vehicle and will rat your ass out to the cops if you're parked somewhere too long. But we'll get into that when I start stealth camping. But for right now, I'm in this truck and my parking options are limited. Like right now, I'm literally on the side of the road at the border waiting to cross. Hopefully I get to cross soon. Still not clear to cross, so I'm making a video for you guys. You can't just park anywhere. But that being said, you can go to any city in the country that has truck parking of some kind. And most of them do have truck stops or places you can park. Some of them charge you money because they're cocksuckers, but, you know, that's how it is, you know. And I hate those truck stops that fucking charge you money. I'm like, really? You don't even fucking clean your lot. It's got trucker piss all over it. You want to pay me to pay $20 to fucking park here for the night? Fuck you, goddamn asshole, fucking robbing us. So and then we have to go in and buy shit. And there's some truck stops that they'll let you buy shit. You gotta buy a bunch of shit, and then you don't have to pay to park. So it's basically spend money here or fuck off, which I can understand. But you gotta understand, we are going to have to spend money, whether, you know, but we don't want to spend fucking $25, you know? So what you do when you charge to park is you dissuade us from ever fucking using your truck stop for anything, you know? So where we might stop and fucking buy some coffee or something, we're gonna be like, no, fuck them. They charge money if I stay there too long. Fuck you. Alright, sorry, a little bitter about the parking issue. But that's a fact of life. It's hard to park a truck. You gotta be creative. You gotta not be an asshole. You know, if you see other trucks parked in like a Walmart parking lot, you probably don't want to go park next to them, because the more trucks there are, the more pissed off they get at you. The more pissed off they get at you, that's when they start saying you can't park here anymore. And a lot of truckers don't understand that, and that's why there's less and less places for us to park. You know, and it's at night, it's a fucking nightmare trying to find a place to park. You know, and when you shut down for the night, because it's all full. They're all full up, you know. All truck stops are fucking fully loaded. So if you don't get to a truck stop early enough, then you're stuck parking in fucked up places, side of the road and what have you. So another con of living in a vehicle is it's a small space. You know, that goes without saying. You're not going to be as comfortable. You're not going to be able. You can stand up in here and move around a little bit. I got my VR set up that I can't even use in here. I have to use it at like a hotel or at someone's house or something. And I'm even debating selling it at this point because I don't get to use it. I like it. I want to use it. It's not enough room in here to do room scale VR. What the fuck is this guy doing? It's small and it's uncomfortable. So those are the cons of this lifestyle. And, you know, like I said, with the small space thing, you can get out of here. You can go other places. You don't have to sit in your truck all the time. You know, even if you're on the road, you go in the truck stop. You know, there's things you can do to get the fuck out of here when you get a little too cramped. That's how I deal with it. You know, parking, you just got to deal with it. Yeah, it's part of the deal. Nothing's ever easy. But I'll also do a pro and cons of living in a house in an apartment, because there's a lot more cons to that, I think. Like the whole paying shit tons of money to live there and sleep there when you're busy working most of the time and you're not even there. And then you go out all the time, so you're still not there, and you only go there every once in a while when you got nothing other to do, or you're too broke to do anything, so you sit in there all day like a prisoner. Alright, we're not going to get into that in this video. We're going to stick with the topic at hand. Alright, the pros of this. The pros, the reasons I'm doing this. The reasons that I think a lot of people should do this. You know, because I see a lot of people struggling and suffering when they don't have to. This is not a hard industry to break into. It doesn't require a huge amount of, you know, learning to get the skill necessary to get one of these jobs. You're not going to start out at the top. You're going to start out at the bottom like everybody else and have to work your way up. It generally takes 2 or 3 years to start making really good money in this industry, just like any other career. But it's not a huge investment to get a CDL and do this job. You gotta not suck at driving, obviously. That goes without saying. If you can't drive your car and you're getting in accidents all the time and you suck, probably can't do this. Probably shouldn't live in a vehicle. But, hey, people still do it. There's plenty of truckers out here that can't drive for shit. But what I'm saying is, I got into trucking 13 years ago. I even failed my first road test. I fucked up and hit the brakes and made the trooper go, ah! And when the trooper goes, ah! It generally means you're not going to pass. So, but I took it again and I passed the second time. And, I took a 10-week course. It cost me $5,000. I took out a student loan and a GI Bill, and I paid off the student loan within a couple of years. That's a small-ass student loan I took out. Would I do it again the same way? No, I'd probably make a company pay for it, which there are companies that will pay for you to get your CDL. That's how desperate they are right now for drivers. So it's not hard to break into this industry, for one. So if you're going to try living in a vehicle, I'd say start here, and get used to it on someone else's dime before you invest in a vehicle to live in. Because if you can't do this, you're not going to do a van or an RV. It's just not happening, all right? So the first and most important pro to living in your fucking vehicle is you save a shit ton of money. All right? You make a lot of money doing this, and you don't have to spend it on rent because you're sleeping in this motherfucker. You don't have to spend it on electricity because you're in this motherfucker. It has like a huge battery bank, an inverter. It runs. It generates power on its own. Completely not hooked to anything if you need to. And it generally will take care of a lot of the needs of laptops and phones and charging and all of that shit. Unless you're sitting for a really, really long, like 2 or 3 days without running, it starts to get a little tight. And you might need some shore power or to fucking idle the truck for a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours to recharge all your batteries. And, which is doable. It's free everything as far as living goes, so compared to motherfuckers that are spending over half to 3/4 or sometimes all of their income for their living, their dwelling, their utilities, people that are apartment poor or house poor, that they all of their money goes into their fucking living arrangements. You have it made compared to them. Yeah, they're more comfortable when they're at home, but a lot of people become prisoners to that comfort and have to stay in that house. They can't go traveling easily. They can't go do things all the time because they don't have the fucking money. The money's all in the house or in the apartment. And the rents are going up. The fucking mortgages are going up. The prices of houses are going up. They're not going down. All right? The crash happened. The prices are going up. The cost of living is going up. The cost of everything is fucking going up. And our paychecks aren't going up that much. Certainly not at the rate the expenses are going up. And so many people are finding themselves fucked because of this. And they're doing this exact thing, living in vehicles to try and make the fucking ends meet. Or they're coming up with 3 or 4 roommates to share the dwelling with so that they don't have to spend all their fucking money on where they're living. It is not easy to live nowadays. It's not. Unless you're fucking lucky enough to make, 6 figures, or you are lucky enough to be in a relationship that combines to make 6 figures, you're pretty much fucked, all right? If you're not making $20 to $25 an hour, you are hurting in today's economy, in this situation, and you're going to have to cut a lot of corners to survive. And my corner that I'm cutting, and I don't have to, but I'm choosing to because I want to not pour as much of my time and energy, which is what money is. Money equals time and energy. You are working for the people you're paying. All right? You're working for your landlord. He's your goddamn fucking slave owner, and you don't even fucking know it. He's holding the chains that chain you down. and you sign your lease for a year that says, motherfucker, I work for you. Because that's what you're working for. You're working to pay that motherfucker. And he's just collecting it, and he's paying, he only takes care of the maintenance. He's got his cost. You know, he has his people he's paying. It's a big fucking pyramid scheme, and you're in the bottom. All right? So, I don't like being on the bottom. I want to be the top of my fucking pyramid. And it turns out when you cut all of these little fucking chains that are fucking weighing you down, mainly a lot of shit ton of your stuff and a lot of shit tons of money that you spend storing it and putting, you know, for a place to lay your head down at the end of the day, those are all things that own you. You know, you don't own them. You don't own, if you're a homeowner, you don't own your house. Your house owns you. Ask anybody that owns a house. I know people that own a house and they regret it. They hate it. Because the costs, the hidden fucking fees of owning a house just fucking weigh you down. And then you just can't sell the motherfucker. Sometimes you're mortgaged over your fucking eyeballs. You got no equity. You know, it's a nightmare. And I don't want to do any of that. So, the biggest pro for me is having my money go to things that I want, things that I enjoy, things that make me fucking happier. Am I the shining example of happiness? No. But I'd be a hell of a lot more miserable right now if I had to sit in a fucking house or an apartment, especially if I had to sit in my ex's house, which was the option, and, you know, mull over the fact that I'm in this house by myself, paying this money to sit in this house by myself, and I can't go anywhere because I'm fucking paying this money to sit in this house by myself when I could be out meeting new people or doing new things or experiencing new shit. So I choose to give up the comfort for the freedom. And it's not as free as you think. You can't, there's a lot of fine print to this. People don't want you to do this. Municipalities, cities, ordinances, there's all kinds of motherfuckers. You know, you park on the wrong street, and they'll fucking get, somebody be like, hey, motherfucker, in front of my house, I pay all this money for this house, and this dickhead's in front of my house. He's parked there, he's been there for 2 days. Motherfucker, he's got the same view of the fucking river that I pay fucking $1,700 a month for, and you're gonna let that cocksucker stay, or you come down here and put his ass in cuffs right now and taser him in his balls and kick him in the fucking asshole and get him the hell out of here, because this is my fucking street. I pay to be here, even though it's a public street and everyone pays their taxes. But never mind that, you know. So don't even get me started. We're not as free as we think we are in this country. There's a lot of people that will try and stop you, you know. And the reason truckers get a pass is America stops if we aren't hauling shit. So they gotta let us sleep in this motherfucker. It's not like the cops are gonna be knocking on a trucker's door and being like, hey, they'll ask you to move, but they're not gonna tell you you can't live in your vehicle. And there are cities in this country that say you can't live in your fucking vehicle. It's illegal. And it's bullshit. I think if you're parked legally in a public parking spot, what's the problem? Who you bother? As long as you don't make a mess and you're not being a dick, that's a whole other thing. Littering or, you know, dumping shit. No, you don't do that. But if you're parked legally and you take care of the area and you're not being a dick and you're not being a nuisance to anybody, you should be able to park there just fine. It's not the case, though, in a lot of places. Just got to avoid those places, I guess. But, you know, I'm hearing all kinds of rumblings of, you know, you should be able to park on public land now, and they're trying to take that away from what I hear. People don't like you not paying your fucking landlords and your fucking property taxes and all of that shit. The local governments aren't happy with that. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Maybe that goes on the con side of things, is that people will be fucking bothering you. And they do. They'll be knocking. Hey, move. All right. Don't give them shit. Move. Just do it. Don't fight it. Don't say, I got the right to park. No. Move. Because if you fight it, you'll get fucked with even worse. So another pro to this lifestyle is freedom to travel. you can pretty much go anywhere in this country. You can even, go to Canada or Mexico or, whatever you fucking are willing to put up with as far as driving jobs go. But the company I work for, I can pretty much go anywhere in the United States, take time off anywhere in the United States, and pretty much live in the truck anywhere in the United States if I choose to. I am in charge of what I do out here. I'm my own boss for the most part. I have a boss and I don't like him. He pisses me off a lot, but he does his job. As long as you can piss me off all you want, if you do your fucking job. That's and he does his job. He's annoying. He's not a very personable person, but he does his job, so I appreciate that. And his job is to keep me moving and make me money. So I get to travel. I can go anywhere I want, with some planning. It's not as simple as, next week I want to go to Florida. No, you got to kind of go with the flow. You got to say, can you get me to Florida? And it might take them a while to get you there. Or can you get me to Texas? Or can you get me to Colorado? And we can go. And I plan on it. I got some obligations from the photography world right now that are keeping me from doing that. But once those are fulfilled, I'm going to do some extra travel. I'm just going to go to the boss and say, hey, mind sending me here? Out and back, and then go back to my normal shit. And that's an option for me, especially if things are slow. If things are busy with Canada, they're not going to want to do it. But if I wait around long enough, there'll be a slow period, and every once in a while a load will come across and that'll go to one of those places, and I'll be like, hey, can I take it all the way? And they'll probably say yes, especially if it's a shit ton of miles. Another pro: it is infinitely less stressful when you sever your ties to objects that are weighing you down and financial obligations that are chaining you down. Once you cut those chains, once you lift the weights away and you downsize to the point where you can live in a vehicle and most of your possessions are in here, barring the only thing I keep outside of here is my extra photography, light stands and that kind of shit that I just can't haul around with me. And if I could get rid of that shit, I would, but I kind of need it for the side gig that I do of photography. So for the most part, I haven't missed anything I've gotten rid of. I got rid of 70% of my shit easily. I live out of 3 suitcases. One's not really a suit. It's more like a bag that I put clothes in. I have roughly a week's worth of clothes, and if I don't like something, I will donate it and buy a new item of clothing to replace it. But I will always maintain a week's worth of clothes. And that doesn't mean I have 7 pairs of jeans either, because jeans are good for more than one day. If they pass the smell test, you fucking wear them. Why waste? Especially if it's just you and you're in this truck all the time by yourself. There's no reason that you need fucking spick and span jeans every day. I do have some dress-up clothes that I also store with my photography gear for when I have to go out to formal situations. I don't feel the need to keep those out here with me on the truck as well. So I do have some stored items that are necessary for my business, and if that business goes under, then that stuff will go away because I only use it for that purpose. But all the stuff I live my day-to-day life with is in this truck right now, and I haven't missed anything. I have all the internet I need. I have all the movies, the games, fucking VR. I got my phone. I got music. I got every form of sitting on your ass entertainment that you could have known to man, and all of the comforts therein. All right? So not a problem. So when I downsized, I thought maybe I'd miss some of the things I got rid of. No. I still have a bicycle also. That's in the back of my pickup truck, ready to go, especially if my pickup truck falls apart anymore. I can just pull the bike out and be like, all right, bye, pickup truck. and then go and buy a vehicle. But I'm still trying to save up, but we'll get to that on another fucking vlog or something. So it's less stressful when you cut all of that out of your life. That's another pro. And now that you have financial freedom, another pro is you can buy nice shit. You want the latest and greatest motherfucking phone? You know, I got the S8 Plus. You can buy it. You have the money because you're not giving it to your landlord, or should I say your slave owner, you know, or any of the other creditors. Get rid of debt. If you're in debt, get rid of that shit. Save up for what you want. Don't buy shit you can't afford. But that's a whole other thing. We'll talk about finances another time. But for the most part, you don't want to be in debt if you can avoid it. I realize some people rely on debt to survive, but you're going about it all wrong, all right? You need to downsize to the point that you can live within your means. Even if that means getting 10 roommates or whatever the fuck you got to do, you should live within your means and not farm out money for interest, which is just throwing money out the fucking window on debt. It's one of the best things I ever did for my life is get rid of my debt. So if you can do that or keep it at a bare minimum, like in my case, I do have the cell phone, which is a debt, but it's an expendable debt. I know I can hand that motherfucker back to them. They'll send me a couple $100 bill and that'll be that. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to be in debt because that's another way they own you. It's another way you are forced to work hard for someone else instead of for yourself. Also, if you're a trucker and you're living out here and you don't have a rent or a mortgage or a place that you have to send your money all the time, or you don't have payments because you're not in debt, then you're not obligated to run hard. You know, you can take your sweet ass time. You don't have to fucking work 14 hours a fucking day out here. If you're not in debt, you don't have to do it. If you don't have living expenses, if your only living expenses is the food that you're eating, because you're not, you know, when you're out here, you're not paying fuel costs unless you own your truck, which I don't recommend either as far as trucking goes. You know, when you're out here, your only cost is food and hygiene. You know, you might have to buy a shower if you're not getting one for free with your fuel. So this is the optimal way to save money. And you get paid well to do this job, so you could save a lot of money and then take a lot of time off. You know, which is why I'm doing this. Once again, that's why all this, the con shit, wasn't a deal breaker. Another pro to this is you're independent. You know, you may have a boss, but that boss is going to kiss your balls so that you keep fucking staying in this truck, because a lot of people don't hack it out here. There's a lot of people that can't drive, they get in accidents, they fuck up, or they get out here, they get miserable because they're not used to this lifestyle, and there's a big gap in the employment of truckers. There's not a lot of drivers out here. You see trucks everywhere, but there's hiring bonuses of $7,000 at some companies. $7,000 fucking dollars just to come sign up. Paid out over time, of course. It's always fine print. They want you to work for them 4 years before you get all your $7,000 bonus. But, you know, nobody reads that fine print. Oh, I get $7,000. Oh, yeah, you got to work for that fucking company. You're pretty much enslaving yourself to them if you want that entire $7,000. And some companies ain't worth it. I'll say that too. But for the most part, you're independent. You make your own schedule. You determine when you're going to wake up. You determine when you're going to shut down. You determine. You are in charge. They don't want to fuck with you out here. You are driving around a $100,000 vehicle. That's what one of these fucking things costs brand new. And they buy them brand new. And they don't want to piss you off. For the most part. Not all of them. There are some real dicks out there. But You just weed out the dicks. Eventually you get to a place that is happy to have you and they don't want to piss you off. For the most part. They still manage to. You will have the freedom to be your own boss. I accept the loads. I determine when I roll. I determine when I work. I determine when I go home. You know, and if they don't like it, fuck you. And if you are not a slave, you can do that. You can be like, look, motherfucker, this is how I'm doing it. And if you don't like it, bye. And you can go and pay your fucking $5,000 hiring bonus to replace my ass. That's what the market's like. Will it stay that way? I don't know. It's probably why they're trying to make self-driving trucks, is so that they don't got to deal with our bullshit anymore. Because God forbid you have to pay people to do shitty jobs. And this is not a fun job. Contrary to belief. I may talk it up a bit, but the job part of it is pretty fucking long, huge amount of hours. You know, you're going to work a shit ton of hours out here. There's no getting around. Even if you're taking it easy, you're dragging your feet, still going to work a lot. But you can bounce out of the industry whenever you want. You can quit and find another company easy. They don't care anymore. They don't. They're so used to being revolving doors now that they don't even, oh, you've worked for 20 different companies? Come on over. We'll hire you. You know, there's people that have rolled their trucks, people that have fucked up and gotten tons of accidents. They still get hired. Why? Because a truck sitting in their parking lot ain't making them money. And they'll put anybody in that truck that they can fucking squeeze through. And keep those trucks rolling. Because people are going to Walmart. They're going to keep going to Walmart. So they need trucks to haul shit to Walmart. Fucking Walmart runs our lives. That's our biggest slave owner in this country, I think, is Walmart. Another benefit to this is you can work seasonally. Like I said, you can jump out of the industry. Once you're established, once you've been doing this a while and you didn't fuck up, you didn't crash, you didn't do anything fucking stupid. You know, you don't do drugs, you don't do any of that bullshit. Then you can cut out whenever you need to. Oh, I think I'll just take the summer off. You know, you can't go for more than a year. If you take more than a year off, you start at the bottom again. It's like you never worked in trucking at that point. So you can't really jump in and out for longer than, I would say, I wouldn't stretch it longer than 9 months, to be honest. About 9 months, I think, would be the sweet spot. So you take 9 months off, and you get back in the truck. You know, and then while you're in the truck, you live conservatively and save money, so you can take your next 9 months off. And you might have to work a year in between, you know, in between your times off. Maybe even 2. It depends on how comfortable you want to be during your time off. You know, if you want to live luxuriously during your time off and travel the world, then obviously you're going to need to work a couple years in between. But you can take infinitely more time off in this industry than in any other career that I'm aware of. You know, they don't advertise. And that's if you don't own your truck. If you're a company guy, if you own your truck, you're fucked. You can't take time off because you got to pay for your truck and all the fees and all that bullshit. But that's a whole other video. We won't talk about that. So you're saving money. You're doing all of this. You can take your long vacations. You can afford your long vacations. That's what I'm working towards. That's why all that other shit, all the cons I went over, not deal breakers. Just for that reason alone. Another thing you can do is manage your income bracket. You know, we pay a shit ton of taxes. A whole shit ton of taxes. And it's all based on your income. And you can take control of that. If you make $60,000 a year in the trucking industry, you're going to pay a lot of taxes. A whole lot. And you're going to lose a lot of benefits as far as medical goes. You're going to be in that I'm getting fucked in the ass level. You can keep your income managed. You don't have to work the entire year. Or you can drag your feet and not bust your ass out here and keep your income in a more manageable level. And you can only do that if you don't have all the chains of slavery holding you down, like the apartment, the house, the car payment. Don't get the car payment. Buy your car with cash. Buy used. If you cut all of these little fucking chains off, you can afford to downsize from time to time your income. And keep it in that sweet area where you're not quite as fucked with the taxes, but you're not leeching off of the fucking government either. There's a little area, and it's a sweet spot to where you're just not quite as fucked. A lot of people strive to get way above that area. And you're going to pay a hell of a lot more taxes in that area. And the question is, do you want your hard-earned money to just go and let some motherfuckers in Washington spend it, and they don't spend it right? If they spend it right, I'd be all right with it, but they're not spending it right. And I don't like that. I don't like other people spending my fucking ass, and that's what they're doing. My hard work is being spent by somebody else on things that I may or may not agree on, and I don't like that. So my only power in that situation is to manage how much money I make. They haven't mandated us to labor yet. That's probably coming at some point. They're not forcing us to work. They're relying on our desire to live this American dream to motivate us into working constantly and busting our ass for fucking 50, 60, 70 hours a week to give everyone else money except ourselves. And I'm tired of that. I don't want to watch all my money go out the fucking door to other people. I am more than happy to be generous, but goddamn, how much of my shit are you gonna take? And people are waking up to this. I see it all the time. People are fucking understanding that they're getting fucked, that they're working hard and they're not getting anything for the money except a place to sleep, so that they can work harder. And then them costs are going up. Everything's fucking going up. So I've pretty much hit the pros and cons of this. So the moral of the story is, weigh it all out. What's good for you in your life? What do you want to do? Do you want to keep, a lot of people are happy with their American dream. And it's great if you can maintain it, I guess. If you can maintain the house in the suburbs, your little subdivision, and you're happy with that life, and you're stress-free, and you got the pool and the yard, and the little dog fucking running around in your yard, and, you got your 60-inch TV, and you got all of the fucking rooms that you don't even hardly use, but they're there, and they got all your shit in them that you don't hardly use, but that's there. That's fine. If that's the way you want your hard labor, your work, the money you made to go, if that's where you want it, more power to you. I'm just saying, not this guy, not anymore. So, and I've made sacrifices to make that happen. I sacrifice a little bit of comfort for a whole lot of freedom. And that's what it comes down to. Can you sacrifice your comfort? A lot of people are unwilling to. They'll fight to death. They hold on to that comfort. And it's not comfortable. It's not as secure. You're not as safe living in a vehicle. But I hate to burst your bubble, but you're not as safe as you think you are with the house, the apartment, all of that shit can be gone like that. Happens every day. Just like this can be gone like that. Trucks crash all the time. You can't control that. Safety is an illusion. Security is an illusion. You can lose it all in the blink of an eye from shit that you didn't even see coming. So, that was a long ass fucking video. I can't believe you're still fucking watching. But thank you. I like it when you guys watch all the way through. Makes me happy. If you like this, like it, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'm off track on something. Maybe I'm fucked up. I'm not an expert. I say it all the time. Even in this, I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole But I spent an extraordinary amount of time in one of these vehicles. So maybe there's a better way. But what I've been doing my whole life hasn't been working. It hasn't. And I've accepted that. And I'm trying something else. And this is it. I'm trying it. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my fucking mind. Maybe I'll be like, fuck this truck. Fuck it. Don't want to live in this little box anymore. I gotta get a fucking house, apartment. And I'll go be a slave to pay for that. Yep. I'll go work for the man. Here you go, sir. Take some of my ass. Take a lot of my... Let me take it in the ass so that I can pay you. I'm tired of that. I really am. So, who knows? Maybe I'm way off. Hope I don't fuck this up. But it's been known to happen. But remember, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fucking asshole. Have a nice fucking day. And lighten your load. Even if you have the house and the car and all of that shit, you're still paying too much probably. Just saying. You probably have more than you need. And you probably pay a lot to have more than you need. So really look at your life, I would say. It would be my advice that I give to anybody. You know, trim the fat off your life as much as you can. Even if it means staying in a house, in an apartment, or whatever, float your boat, whatever, you know, the vacation home, the island, you know, whatever the hell you fucking like to do, just realize that it's coming out of your ass, all right? And you don't want to be paying for shit that you don't need. And debt, interest is a huge fucking thing you don't need. Alright? Also, you can have it now. Gotta have it now. Give me a loan. Oh. Didn't fucking meet the bills this week. I need to use my credit card. Ching. That shit adds up. But that's another video. Have a nice motherfucking day.